Hi there. Here is a new episode of Knowledge Beyond Natural Boundaries. I'm JC. This episode was created because a lot of people keep asking the question, what is the conscience? And so this episode is titled, What is the conscience? What is conscience? What does it stand for? Is it truly significant? These are some of the questions the people ask today. I'm going to answer all these questions. The questions on what conscience is from the articles provided by God for mankind. Firstly, let's consider what people say about the conscience. Your conscience is the part of your personality that helps you determine between right and wrong and keeps you from acting upon your most basic urges and desires. It is what makes you feel guilty when you do something bad and good when you do something kind. Another definition puts it this way: it is a personal awareness of right and wrong that you use to guide your actions to do right. Now let's look at the absolute truth and the facts. Your conscience is the voice of your spirit man. Man is a spirit. He has a soul and lives in a body. This shows that man is triune in nature. There are three doors that leads to man's heart. The first is the door called the conscience. This door links the heart to the spirit man. The second door links your soul to your heart. It is called the mind. Some call it the intellect or the mental ability. The third door links your body to your heart. It is called your feelings. So, conscience is the voice of the spirit, while the mind is the voice of your soul. The feelings is the voice of your body. Now, the conscience of a man cannot lie. It guides you to always do the right things. But the soul and the body rebel against it to make man do the wrong things. In such a case, it convicts you and accuses you of wrongdoing. The soul and the body tries to corrupt the spirit through the conscience. Ratio 2 of the soul and the body to ratio 1 of the spirit gives man the go-ahead to commit sin. But whenever either the soul or the body joins the spirit in a ratio 2 to 1, then the man does righteous things. This is one of the reasons why people pray and fast to subdue the soul and the body, to raise them to the level of the spirit, so they can operate and pray in the Spirit. Most times, it works, but sometime after the fasting is over, the soul and the body returns to their former states. Everyone has a conscience. The murderer, the armed robber, the politician, and so on and so forth. The problem is they don't listen to their conscience. A man that does evil knows that he is an evil one. He just chooses to continue that way for a reason. Those who change from their wicked ways are examples of people who are tired of the constant silent accusation of the conscience. The conscience don't tell a lie. It does not give you a pat on the back after doing evil. It does not condemn you when you do righteous things. The book of Romans chapter 8 verse 1 says, and I quote, "There is therefore now no condemnation to them which are in Christ Jesus, who walk not after the flesh, but after the Spirit." End of quote. Some say conscience is the voice of God. This may not be far from the truth. If your conscience speaks the truth at all times, we can rightly deduce that it is the voice of God. Because Christ is the truth, the way, and the life. The spirit of a man does not commit sin. The soul and the flesh does. When you get into the atmosphere of lust, your flesh begins to speak to you through your feelings. At the end of it all, sin is committed. The two convicts crucified with Jesus, they confessed that they were wicked men. But how did they know that? Their conscience had been telling them. Unfortunately, they didn't do anything about it until they were caught and condemned. Permit me to share 9 features of the conscience with you. 9 characteristics of the conscience. Number 1. Everyone has a conscience. 2 Corinthians chapter 4 verse 2. Number 2. It convicts. The conscience convicts people. John chapter 8 verse 9. Number 3. It bears witness. You can find that in Romans chapter 9 verse 1. Number 4. It accuses. It accuses people silently, deep down there. Romans chapter 2 verse 15. Number 5. It says the truth at all times. Number 6. It vindicates. Romans chapter 2 verse 15. Number 7. it could be wounded. 2 Timothy chapter 1 verse 3 and 1 Corinthians chapter 8 verse 12. Number 8. Your actions could tamper with other people's conscience. 1 Corinthians chapter 10 verse 29. And finally, number 9. It could be weakened. Your conscience could be weakened. 1 Corinthians chapter 8 verse 7. Finally, you must understand that God speaks to believers through the conscience. That voice is the voice of God heard through your conscience. God speaks to believers today through their conscience. I want to quote a portion of the scriptures. And thine ears shall hear a word behind thee, saying, This is the way, walk ye in it. When you turn to the right hand, and when you turn to the left. This is the voice of God. It is heard through the conscience. Nobody hears an audible voice today like the days of Moses. The servants of God today hear his voice through their spirit man. John the Divine said, I was in the Spirit on the Lord's day and heard behind me a great voice as of a trumpet. That was John the Beloved, the man God gave the book of Revelations. If you are a godly person, you will have peace like a river. I mean, real peace. But if you are a sinner, your conscience will keep telling you Judgment Day will be very bad for you. So, it's better you listen to your conscience and do something about your relationship with your Maker. The moment you decide to turn a new leaf and change, call upon God for forgiveness. Make sure you forsake that sin. Immediately, God pardons you. You will know deep down in your heart how your conscience will tell you that God has forgiven you. Your conscience is God's tracker hidden in your spirit heart, your spiritual heart. It reveals to God everything you have ever done in your life, whether in the secret or in the open. So, no man can escape judgment on the last day. When a man dies, the spirit man leaves the body. The conscience is then silenced for life. The spirit man goes to God and gives account of everything that man had done on earth, whether good or bad. Something strange happens to the conscience after a sinner gives his life over to Christ. The conscience begins to forget his past sinful life, provided this person does not return to his past sinful life. So, over time, the conscience completely forgets the past life of such a sinner turned saint. By so doing, only the redeemed life of that convert will be reported to God on Judgment Day. Thank you for being there. Until I come your way again in a new episode of Knowledge Beyond Natural Boundaries, please be careful of what you do. Listen to your conscience and act. It's bye from me.